What's up, ladies and gents? JP here with JP Street and Performance. Today we are bringing you the very first cut with our new EASTWOOD Versa-CUT 4x4 table. This we have not cut with it yet. We just put water in it for the first time. It does not seem to be leaking anywhere, so that's a good sign. We got some 16 gauge loaded up. I did a quick little design on Autodesk Fusion. So for our fence out here on the property that we're just designing a fake keyhole. So we're gonna go ahead and get that little thing cut out for you guys. Stick around, let's see how this thing does with We're gonna get this thing turned on. Press any key, here we are. Okay. So, what we want to do, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and move the machine just to kind of get it somewhat close to where it needs to be. I have the camera on the machine, so hopefully we can set this right there. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and load our USB. You gotta make sure the USB just has the only files you need on it. Place the USB, and we're going to go ahead and go to F2, and then we're going to go to F2 again for USB. Here we are. So I have my fence key making for my pops there, and then I have the ring that's going to go around that. So we're going to go ahead and go down to fence key. And there you go. So this is our little fake key. It's loaded up on the machine. I'm gonna test to make sure we're set up right. So we're gonna go to F7 and F7 again, which will move our machine. So it is currently off. So let's get that fixed. We just moved our piece since it's a small piece. Here's our F7. That'll frame out the piece to make sure it's going to stay on the material. So we're good there. So now we got to set our parameters, let it know our thickness, change our cut speed. The owner's manual came with all of that, so we'll go ahead and set this up. We'll show you guys our settings, and then we'll give this thing a go. All right, here's when using the CNC machine. So it's different. If you're just using the plasma cutter, this is 16 gauge. You would be using this chart if you were hand cutting without a CNC machine. That's just for the plasma cutter. This is for using it on the machine. It's 40 amps across the board. Because it's got a torch height controller, it'll adjust the amps. But what we want to adjust here is we got 16 gauge. We want to adjust our minimum cut speed and our pierce time. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. Our cut speed is going to be letter F. And we want to do 1700. Okay, easy. Our pierce time is half a second. So we want, pierce time is already set to half a second. Our amperage Okay, so set arc is the voltage, not the amperage, for the set arc. It says ideal set arc is 75 to 90. This is at 94. We're gonna leave it because it was preloaded. We have our plasma cutter set to 40 amps, which is max. And then what you want to do is you want to test, again, if you watched my last video, we made sure we got a dryer. So we got a nice dryer on our air compressor, but you want to test your airflow because it should be at, according to the chart, 16-inch should be at 60 PSI when it's running. So what you do is you're going to hit test, and you hear it run, and that actually, while it's running, is at 60. All right, so this should be it. We're gonna just go for it. We got green to just go for it. So, start cut, enter. All right, wait for that to shut off. Huh. Wow, you guys, that is, for the very first cut, that was so easy. Look at that. Awesome. Next thing I want to do is I want to test accuracy because of our kerf width of our cut. This shape is pretty simple to test accuracy on. It should be 105 millimeters. I'm doing it in millimeters because that's how I designed it on AutoCAD. 105 millimeters across, 111 down. So we're going to see how accurate it is, or if we need to change our kerf width. So it should be 105, which honestly, I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but that is like 50 thousandths too large. It's not a big deal. It's probably, I could probably even straighten it out a little more. And then we should have 111 this way. Eastwood's training videos and setup is really awesome. I mean, there is definitely some fine tuning that may need to be done in the future, but there is just a hair over 111. I mean, we're talking half of a millimeter, if that. So awesome. So we have another one of these to cut out. I need one for each side of the fence. Plus I made a little ring, so we'll get those cut out and we're going to cut another one of those out. Check this out, you guys. This is freaking awesome. Here is our two pieces, one for each side of the fence. They are identical. Even the arc start is in the exact place. That's how accurate this machine is. This is awesome. Very, very little cleanup on this. run it over a sander real quick and just flake that off. Some of this probably even flake off, yeah. See, it just flake off by hand. Beautiful. That is super accurate. Here we're gonna load up our other file. We're gonna go F2, F2 for USB. We're gonna go down to fence ring. We're gonna hit enter. And there is our fence ring. Now what we want to do is we want to move the machine down a bit. And we want to frame it, which is F7, F7. Okay, let's move it over. Let's try it again. Not quite sure why this thing is so big. Maybe my file isn't right. I did draw that a couple times. We're gonna go double check our file and make sure it's all the right dimensions before we move forward with this process, just to make sure, because the frame rate is way too big. All right, so the next piece is going to be the ring. I think I accidentally made the file. If you look here, the ring size is right, but the size of the frame goes all the way over here. I think it's because I made this piece all the way to the right. So I don't know how to change the frame, but that's okay because we're only cutting out this piece. So we'll figure that out at a different time. Okay, try it one more time. Make sure we're going to stay within our piece. F7, F7. Yeah. So some of that will be wasted space, but we can always use that piece of scrap later for something else. So I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and get out of this. Let's go to cut, hit enter. You guys can see this piece of metal had some bow in it as the torch made contact with it. That's the nice thing about having a torch height controller. Oh, get that out of there. Torch height controller allowed us to not have to worry about the bow or the flex inside the steel. Here we are. Now this should, in theory, be the exact same size and fit nicely over our piece there, which, let's get it over here so I can actually see it. Boom, look at those edges. I got a little crooked, but bam. That is freaking awesome, you guys. We're gonna cut one more of those out and then we will be done. Awesome, you guys. You saw how user-friendly this machine is. Super simple to use. Again, the only thing I ran into was my own mistake, is because how I made it in AutoCAD. But we did have to cut one extra piece. Unfortunately, when this square over here fell out, it hit the torch and pierced the piece I was making, so I had to cut one extra one out, but no big deal there. Yeah, as you guys see, the torch height controller works great. The machine works great. We're going to drain all this water out of here. We don't have any additive in it, so we don't want anything to, most of this is all stainless, but we don't want anything to rust. We're going to drain it all, wipe down the machine, tuck it away until we're ready to use it on our next project. But wanted to bring you this first cut video. Thanks for watching, you guys. Stay tuned until the next one.